There was a poor woodcutter who had a little daughter. He had nothing to give her to eat, so he went into the forest to fetch wood, and there he met a beautiful lady who had a crown of shining stars on her head, and said to him, "I am the Virgin Mary, the mother of the child Jesus. Give me your child. I will take her with me, and be her mother, and care for her." The woodcutter obeyed, and gave her the child, and the Virgin Mary took her up to heaven, where she lived happily. She was given food and drink, clothes and toys, and wanted for nothing. When she grew up, the Virgin Mary called her one day and said, "My dear child, I am going on a journey. Take the keys of the 13 doors of heaven. You may open 12 of them, but the 13th, to which this little key belongs, you must not open. Beware of it." The girl promised to obey, and when the Virgin Mary was gone, she opened one door after another. Behind each, she saw one of the 12 apostles sitting in heavenly light. She admired the splendor and happiness around them. Then she came to the forbidden door. She hesitated, but curiosity overcame her. She put the key into the lock and turned it slightly. A little opening appeared, and she saw the Holy Trinity sitting in fire and radiance. Trembling, she touched the glory with her finger, and the finger became golden. She was frightened, shut the door quickly, and ran away. But the small key was stained with gold. She tried cleaning it, wiping it, but the stain would not leave. The Virgin Mary returned from her journey. She called the girl and asked for the keys. When she saw the golden spot on the little key, she asked, "Did you open the 13th door?" "No," the girl answered. She lied. "Did you not open it?" the Virgin Mary repeated. "No," the girl said again. Then the Virgin Mary said, "You have disobeyed me, and you have lied. You are unworthy of being in heaven." And she fell into a deep sleep, and when she awoke, she was lying on earth in the middle of a wilderness. She wanted to cry, but she could not speak. She tried to get up, but she could not move her limbs. Near her stood a small house. She crawled to it and found it empty. She lived there, eating roots and wild berries, until the clothes wore off her back. After some years, a king who was hunting in the forest found the strange girl. He asked who she was, but she could not speak. Still, her beauty moved him. He wrapped her in his cloak, set her on his horse, and took her to his castle. He married her, and she became queen. After a year, she bore a son. At night, the Virgin Mary appeared in her chamber and said, "Confess that you opened the forbidden door, and I will give you back your speech and release you from your misery." But the queen remained silent. The Virgin Mary took the newborn child from her arms and disappeared with him. Next morning, the baby was gone, and the queen could not speak. The people whispered, "She has eaten her own child." A year later, she had another son. Again, the Virgin Mary appeared and asked her to confess. Again, the queen denied by her silence. Again, the Virgin Mary took the child. Now the people murmured loudly, "She is a child eater." On the third year, she bore a daughter. Once again, the Virgin Mary appeared and said, "Follow me." She led the queen to heaven and showed her both boys playing happily. She said, "If you confess, you shall have all 3 children back." But the queen answered not a word. The Virgin Mary said, "You are stubborn. You will remain mute forever." She returned the queen to earth, and the queen's daughter, too, was gone. Now the king's council declared, "She is a murderess. She must be burned." A great fire was built. As she was bound to the stake, she looked up to heaven with a heart full of sorrow. Suddenly, the Virgin Mary descended with her 3 children. She said before the people, "She did not commit the sins they accuse her of. It was I who took her children, but because she would not confess the truth or admit her disobedience, I punished her by taking her speech." Then the queen cried out, "Oh, Holy Mother, I did open the forbidden door." Her voice returned. The Virgin Mary forgave her, returned her children to her, and bestowed blessing and happiness upon her family.